Volskaya open.
That's right. I think last time I cast Volskaya was actually disabled, so I'm excited that that's at least in the pool. We're going to start out with Dragonshire.
Sky Temple is banned from BlossoM, and BOE Battlefield is banned from Tempest. So indeed we start with the Dragon, but of course going back to the patch, 31.3 patch, Nova's not anymore OP patch, where lots of nerfs came in for Phoenix and Tracer even. So we have something new for them to play. Of course, the same patch until the playoffs. Here we go. Game number 1, Dragonshire between BlossoM and Tempest. Yesterday, we didn't really get to see Medivh at all, but highly contested, of course, Genji, Hanzo, and Maiev actually.
That's right. Even though we have seen maybe a little bit of nerfs to Maiev, I remember when she first came out, I was like, I can be good at Heroes of the Storm too, if I were able to play that. But you know, since then, it's been toned down a little bit. Phoenix, kind of the same situation.
Phoenix, seen a few times, had 100% win rate before last night in Korea, but had some downfalls.
Took a little bit of a hit there.
Yes, especially, I think Phoenix has some weaknesses. In solo queue, very strong because it's not as coordinated, the
right.
CCs. But in terms of the HGC playing with the teamwork, it's really hard to get out of CC. You will never actually get to warp. If you're taunted, stunned, airborne right after that, you're dead. Very likely. So Phoenix not as strong and competitive.
See what the first pick is there. Or second ban, Cho'Gall, not really a big surprise. You don't want to give away comfort picks to BlossoM. I feel like if there is a way that BlossoM does pull off an upset here, it's because maybe Tempest, they're looking forward to summer vacation and they get a little bit lazy on the bans, but no, we are going to see the Cho'Gall, or not the Cho'Gall taken out. Garrosh not going to be showing up. I'm working on it, okay? One step at a time.
I wanted to wait until
I caught it though, right? I
Yes,
didn't have
you
to
did.
wait for Twitch chat to tell me about it.
Yes, that was good.
Okay.
Okay, let me take out that impressed from before. And let's work on it a little bit more.
All right. I'll work on it.
Well, Garrosh, as you said, they're sniping onto a Gondar Zero Pull, and has been the way, especially against the tank who not just only plays Garrosh and Garrosh ETC and a few more because they're so high tiered right now, but instead Medivh, first pick, was never picked last night, never even banned. Even with the nerfs onto the Circle and the Arcane Explosion, I would say that's pretty, not the biggest nerf, but the cooldown and the damage, somewhat effective.
Right. I mean, it doesn't change that Medivh is still definitely worth first pick early on. We're going to see what Tempest is going to pull out here. I like that not too much has changed since the last time that I was up here. Still, Genji very popular. Of course, we don't see him either. I guess Hanzo had some reworks in between last time I was here. But
yes,
still,
Hanzo was also slightly nerfed. Let's say
slightly.
the damage
It's
is
possible
still the same.
for him to run out of mana now.
Yes, I did mention that last night, and I played it a few times this morning before coming in, and lost both. And there goes my Hanzo main. Let's see, 5 or 4 seconds. Grey main Sonya seems to be a weird rotation from both teams. Actually, Malfurion just getting passed through. Used to be Malfurion Tyrael pair. That's the most popular one. That's as a response to Medivh for lots of Korean teams.
Yep. Malfurial, if you will. Now you can add that impressed back in.
Sorry, I was Twilight Dreamed. Sorry. I was Twilight Dreamed.
A Malfurion cosplay IRL BTW.
Yes.
I like seeing the new Grey main. I got a chance to watch it a little bit yesterday. And what do you think about the changes to Grey main? I have not played him since they came through. So
I don't like Grey main. I've never liked playing on Grey main for some reason.
His quest is like auto attacks now instead of.
It was a duelist. Grey main's got a rework on the quest
instead of takedowns, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, well, there's the combo we were talking about.
So Diablo, of course, was going to be... I was actually thinking that they will pick up Diablo in the rotation before the ban. So that's an easy ban for Tempest. Almost too easy, so that was an insta-ban. It's also because they took Sonya right before. They were really concerned that is BlossoM going to have their hands on Sonya or the Diablo with the Malfurion pair. So at least they got the grab onto Sonya. And before the ban phase, of course, got the Martheo because they wanted to focus on the solo lane. BlossoM, with Wiz being on the solo lane, wanted to pressure that all the time against the stronger team especially.
Yeah, no, I really like the addition of Wiz into here. Is that short for anything, or is it just Wiz?
Wiz?
Yeah.
Maybe Wizard?
Maybe. That's what I was thinking
Maybe
about.
I'll ask
And I
him.
had like a whole bunch of like terrible magician wizard jokes to make, but
Maybe
if that
Wizzy?
wasn't the case, then I just wanted to confirm that earlier. But
You know, I've never asked him. We've also had flights together, and I talked to him a lot.
how do you not ask about IDs? That's the get to know you question when you meet somebody in esports.
Really? How did you come up with rapid casting?
I used to take a lot of public transportation. And so the public transit in Texas where I lived was Dallas area rapid transit.
You actually have
Yeah.
transportation
We do. You know, you don't have to ride horses everywhere anymore.
with the cowboy
Unless you
hats,
play Heroes
right?
of the
But you
Storm.
still have to have the cowboy hats in the public transportation.
That's true, and
though,
the
right?
spurs
with the
and the
guitar
chaps.
and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
and the 4x4 trucks.
Yeah, the 10-gallon hats, everything.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I know Texas. I know everything about Texas.
Oh my God.
See, I
I've
got
been
everything right.
stereotyped into the ground. I'll never
I'm sorry.
recover.
I'm sorry.
Get me out of here. 10 seconds in, and I'm already walking out the door, G Club. Your job is to try to get me to stay here as long as possible.
Yes, that is true. Well, ETC, along with Uther, they have a solid support, along with the ETC Science favorite, of course, the Diablo ban. Now, what is going to be the tank for Gondar? The final
Tracer.
pick, a Nubarak.
Okay.
How did you know?
Well, because I've watched at least one game of BlossoM playing. Yeah, that's kind of the first thing that you learn about BlossoM is A, they pick wacky stuff every once in a while. They're kind of the best team that is still innovative and good.
Yes.
But when it comes to their hero pools, while the team as a whole might be capable of picking a wide variety, when it comes to their tank line, sometimes that's where it gets a little bit thinned out. So, you know, I'm glad that we get a chance to see a Nubarak, but there's a big difference between the first two and the second two heroes that Gondar plays. So let's just leave it there. I'm excited to see what the last pick here for Tempest is.
But he has been getting a lot better on his controls and how he managed to dive in or escape from the team fight. It used to be somewhat of a terrible situation for himself oftentimes, but much better of a player. And Falstad to finish, they're kind of scared of the... Not as big as a wombo combo without the Diablo from BlossoM, but still a very dangerous one. If they dive in, the Arcane Explosion with the Circle of Protection will just be insane amount of damage. So making sure they have a good tool of disengage. Falstad pick to finish off the draft for Tempest.
And of course, he also adds that global into their hero lineup. And now that we're done with the draft phase, I'm supposed to call it draft phase, not picks and bans, right?
It's the same. I
Okay.
don't think it really matters too much.
No. I'm very self-conscious about my terminology. I said the C word like maybe 3 times last time that I was here.
Which C word are you talking about? Like can or croc?
No, it was the other one. The one that I'm not supposed to say instead of heroes.
C-H. Okay.
At least I'm not calling them like, what was the... So the other one is gods. I can't call them that.
Like Champions League from Europe, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Big fan of Champions League. Played that a few times. Now we're playing Heroes League.
You said the C word.
I said you said it first.
No.
I am not as. Oh my god, I'm being trolled on the broadcast. I was coming into. Okay, so these are our teams. This is Tempest. We showed BlossoM a few minutes ago. I was coming into the studio today. I was like, hey G Clef, what floor do I go to? And he told me the floor above the highest floor in the building. So I'm like in the elevator and I'm trying to like find the button for the floor and it doesn't exist. I'm like, did I go into the wrong building? Am I in the wrong place? And then I just realized that my co-caster was trolling me.
He's lying, guys.
We were starting off on the wrong foot, G-Club.
Yes. And we only have 2.
Unless
Tempest
you're
controlling the
Phoenix.
lane. controlling the lane so far. We don't have Phoenix here.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we've got a Nubarak. He's got a few feet.
Oh yes, there's his far slide, but Anubarak can just forward charge any time out. Soaking a few. Actually, Marteo comes down instead after watching. It was going to be a tough one. Even against Sonya, it's not an easy matchup. So with clearing the first wave and then they gain that much time to make this kind of rotation to the mid lane, but they really don't accomplish anything. And they end up losing the macro control slightly because Greymane also got his hands on the golems already. So it's going to be about as even to start off the game here.
So what are the most difficult things for at least me to understand as I watch these teams play against each other is A, how different it looks from the Hero League games I play, and B, how, what are really the priorities that we should be watching? If theoretically you were a new player finally choosing to tune into HGC Korea on the last day of Phase 1.
I would say the best thing that you should do is go to hgc.playxp.com and watch the POV of the player and try to focus on the hero that you like, that the player is actually playing, and you can actually learn from their movement why they're going this way, why they're not using the skill until this moment, which may be a mistake, but oftentimes there are reasons for it. And it's a very good way of learning a hero every time. If I was ever off-cast, I was never off-cast, so I never actually got to watch the POV live, but maybe one day I will get to, because this only exists in Korean region right now.
That's right. So for me, I would be watching Good. I was asking you what maybe a good hero to play would be, and you said Sonya. I was like, yeah, but I have so much trouble landing Ancient Spear. You're like, oh, that's a problem. In general, you're supposed to be able to do that.
That is.
So I'll be watching his movement to learn a little bit more about that.
Oh, Gondar slightly actually baiting the members of Tempest because he knew the rotation down. He will survive. Tracer bomb going to land on Sign, is going very low. Basic attack. And Parting Gift was not enough damage, I would say. So he didn't really get too close to that wall as well. So not going to be a kill onto the ETC. No kills so far. Just few skirmishes. And the rotation is back to normal.
I would say that ETC experts on both sides on either team, so something that you can also probably learn a lot about if you are a big fan of that hero. I love watching Good when he plays Sonya. He does that thing where he no, I'm just kidding.
You have to land on your spear though. ETC almost gets caught, but not entangled.
I feel like the number of times that I hear people say almost gets caught about Sign playing basically any hero is just a lot, but he never does, and so that's always exciting to watch. I like players that have that more exciting play style. This is not the slow early macro that I thought I was going to see, so already a little bit better.
Always been an ETC on your team. You want to control the early game macro because the power slide and the face melt is one of the best pair tools to gank any hero in any lane. So oftentimes ETC becomes a roamer. But in this case where you have Anubarak going in a faster pace, ETC actually catching up later on. So Tempest actually a little bit slower on the rotation, partially due to Tracer also pulse bombing ETC every single time.
Every single time, unless you're me playing Tracer, that doesn't happen. So we didn't really, well there's actually Pulse Bomb on a lockdown, takes him down to his last little sliver of HP, so he has to be a little bit careful, but thankfully he's got a pretty big front line in front of him. Good's trying to control the Northern Shrine, but we'll see how long he's able to hold on to that. We didn't really talk about this after the draft phase, but here on Dragonshy, what's the goal of both of these teams' draft?
It's to destroy the core.
Sick analysis, G-Clef. That's my job.
But Uther dies once again. This is, I believe, his second death.
Yes.
Came to save his brother Lockdown last time, but he's the one sacrificed. Light abandons Uther only. But no one else.
Fade. Sure. It did fade out there for Uther for his second time. 100% of the deaths there, but finally Medivh getting a chance to see exactly what's happening. I'm really happy that that's possible. It's like flying up there and like, okay, well, They're killing everything. It's gonna have some help from Wiz to hold that off a little bit. Not going to lose their first.
Yeah,
game.
going back to your real question.
Okay,
To answer,
thank you.
To give you a real answer.
Help me out
on
here,
this map,
G-Club.
Dragonshire, your solo lane matters a lot, and 4-man rotation has to somewhat control the lane with some wave clear, but also that's the spear that you have to land sometimes.
I was watching that. I was like, okay, how do you do that? Well, you pointed at the enemy hero and hit it. All right.
Not
The
too hard,
two-step-
not too easy at the same
two-step
time.
process.
Light goes in, but there's a protection. Gondar takes almost no damage from that. Oh, lose that portal. May not have an escape, but another force of will. comes
Dami,
down.
like-
Now there's the pulse bomb onto lockdown, but he's going to be safe.
I was kind of worried for Gondar there. I think Dami almost taken him out, but he was able to get back to the back and stay alive. So, crisis averted. And again, we don't have any additional casualties.
It's going to be the Dragonshire 101 with rapid casting.
Where I learned the secret hidden strats. Okay, what's number 1 on the list?
For this map, globals matter a lot. Wait, hold on, Cocoon. Actually used on ETC to buy time. I think they wanted to get the channel, but they will not.
Leyline.
Not much
In
of a
there.
follow-up right after, posting on the good, but there's that mosh pit. Solo dance from Sign, canceled by the Twilight Dream. Wasn't even needed. Last right will get the kill onto Sonya. Little negative synergy coming out from Tempest tonight, where that Gust was actually great. If that lined up with the power slide and the mosh pit, maybe right in front of the wall.
That mosh pit looks like all the parties I went to in high school.
Oh,
So
man.
I'm there partying
Like no
by
one
myself.
around you, no one in the yard.
Well, I was
range.
homeschooled, see, so I
Oh, okay.
yeah, I generally didn't have a whole lot of that experience. So I was living that Sign life.
Well,
And
see, you'll get super popular right after.
Okay,
you'll have multiple
Maybe that
enemies.
makes me really good at Heroes of the Storm. I would say Sign's pretty good, and if he can do that, then I can do it too.
Oh, maybe, maybe not. Well, it'll take some time for sure.
Okay,
I
one
think.
step at a
Yeah,
time.
one step at a time. A spear first. And
Oh,
then,
that's right,
And
that's
then
right.
ETC.
I feel like you should probably be able to play ETC like pretty well, regardless of your skill level. It's like, okay, you go in, then you hit the button that stuns everyone.
And then you die.
Okay, well.
That's what happens when I play ETC also sometimes.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone in that regard.
Has been tough, and Grayman actually doing camp in the meantime. Oh, good. He's trying to come down, looking for that angle. Just doing some damage onto good only. That Poison Spirit will land. So good trade of the damage, but in terms of the sustain, because BlossoM has Malfurion and the protection on themselves. Oh, actually gets the Dragon Knight channel. Good, I guess he didn't have the spear
Yeah,
this time.
Okay, well that's what happens maybe when you miss it. I didn't see if it was on cooldown or anything, but wow, it was weird because we were just watching Good and Wiz fighting as Good was trying to like body block him and keep him from coming down. Then all of a sudden Good just leaves and Wiz just picks it up. So, okay, that's one way to get the first Dragon Knight. Gondar going down to stop Hyde. But are they going to be able to body block him out? Oh man, Hyde might be in a little bit of trouble here. A lot of trouble.
It was painful. Painful. And meanwhile, but Tempest is getting the support to catch up to 13. They lost the Dragon Knight. And this push will actually be an amazing push for BlossoM because they lost Falstad, who should have been the one actually pushing the top lane instead. So this forces a great rotation from them. They have to hearth back home. A lot of time actually wasted, and no damage, not too much damage onto the Dragon Knight. So they have to make some changes. Sign coming from the back line, but rooted by good amount of time. Great ice block by Nasang, but he's very low on mana. Due to getting that pulse bomb onto Sign, not going to catch the kill. Portal for the escape. They're onto chase now, but the target seems to be Tracer, who's blinking away. That's gonna be it. No flight coming down from lockdown at all.
Yeah, what's the story behind lockdown here? I was actually expecting that to come through, but it didn't. So walk me through the thought process.
I think he was considering having the flight with the gust, but it was actually quite away from the keep, and the positioning might not been the best. And if I don't think he knew that Nasang was very low on mana, may not even have enough for Entangle.
Okay.
But it's very easy to root the Falstad and just melt him right after. You have enough damage. So it's going to be a dangerous situation regardless, so not taking risk seemed to be the right choice for Tempest.
Maybe he had that negative synergy from the mosh pit still fresh on his mind and didn't want to maybe have a repeat performance.
Still a great Falstad player. I would say he was a lot better, but because he hasn't really been playing Falstad as much in the kind of out of the meta, slowly coming back.
Well, you were talking about this the other day about how Falstad with some of the recent changes might be a little bit different than the Falstad that we might have seen before.
I think we may see some Mage Falstad in the future. I think a lot of Korean teams are still experimenting.
Okay.
The Mage Falstad with some buff onto the Q talent. Getting the 10 mana back, I think it's somewhat of a big buff onto the Q. Good, soaking some damage as he wants to clear those camps. Falstad looking for that angle for the Gust. He comes from the side, but totally whiffs on that mighty Gust.
Miss. Yeah, Gust not mighty enough, and I feel like that was supposed to be comboed a little bit with Sign. So Sign went in after.
There's a stasis, but Divine Shield basically used, but not really too much of a save. What's happening to Tempest? They're falling apart, ripped by pieces.
It's the final day of Phase 1 anti-buff, where everything gets turned upside down.
I know today's like kind of like the warmest day ever in 2018 in Korea, but we don't need that much of a fan here.
I mean, I am a pretty big fan, but not even my presence here could have cooled that play off anymore.
That was a big NA Gust moment by Lockdown, and that's what I have been saying. And I think BlossoM also realized that Falstad was going to come and Gust that way, so they actually spread apart. Here goes in another dive with the mid-eve. Now the target is onto good, very low. Last right, I didn't quite see it yet. Maybe it was already used. Sign also very low, but Hyde seems to be the one without the escape, and there's a pulse bomb. Even with the parting gift, there's the last right picking out the third kill, and Wiz going super low. He doesn't manage to survive, but I thought Lockdown was going to fly right into the camp.
Lockdown's decision-making processes this game have been, you know, I don't want to say questionable because I'm not really the judge here, but I did think he was going to make the great escape there, back to base the hard way.
That team fight was very rough. Tempest are always getting chased. That circle of protection still seems like a pretty good tool when they are all clumped up together. And Modern has been really working really hard. We always give him praises for sending up to the team, being the flex player, playing maybe, I think about 30 heroes. Maybe 20. That's a big jump, I know, but
I was going to say
something with the 0. It's not 10.
That's like 28 more heroes than I play, G-Club.
In this phase only, so like a real flex in the team.
I feel like everybody on BlossoM, it's like the prerequisite to joining BlossoM is that you have to be able to play like at least half the hero pool.
Yes, 30.
Is it really 30?
30 heroes this phase only, so he's really the flex for the team. And that also tells that BlossoM is willing to
experiment.
Experiment, adapt lots of heroes into their strategies. And so far, Tempest and Lockdown, we have to talk about Lockdown as he once was one of the best Falstad in the world, but from watching him play tonight, thinking emoji.
We just cast the rest of this in emojis.
Well, we can't be in chat at the same time, and Tempest, I think they can bounce back, certainly. It's not the biggest. Still, they have the keeps. That's the most important part. And they also have a global. But they're so behind. They only got the top 4th on the BlossoM side that they should be the one actually pushing out with the Falstad, and they're starting now. But Lockdown's being super, super careful today. Seems like their coordination is very off, maybe.
And this is actually a little bit, as I was watching the previous games from both of these teams, they were playing in week 9. BlossoM, undefeated week. They were feeling probably pretty good, a lot of momentum coming into this week. I was thinking, okay, well, maybe this is the, you know, their trip to really surprising us towards the end of the season. And then I saw that they had to play Tempest today. I was like, ooh, maybe that's going to cool them off a little bit. But I mean, they're looking pretty good. It's only game number 1 in a best of 5, so it's not like it's you know, totally over just yet.
And it's not even over. A single throw from any of these teams will change everything.
It's too bad we don't have Garrosh. We
Oh.
have a lot more than just a single one.
Well, Lockdown can throw everyone with the Mighty Gust. One single gust with combining with the Mosh Pit will actually turn everything, because they have Greymane, they have Sonya, with so much burst damage from the Poison Spear, and go for the throw to pick up those kills. Of course, I think the big job for Sign is to catch that Medivh in that Mosh Pit. And as long as they're not protected, they have quite squishy heroes like Tracer and Fury somewhat, also Marthael. So as long as that Medivh is in that Mosh Pit, in that CC for the longest time, Tempest may have some chances of winning teamfight.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be up to Sign, right? Or I guess the combo there with Falstad. So all you have to do is hit the Gust. At least from what we've seen already, that can be a little bit difficult sometimes. So eyes on Lockdown and maybe step up the Falstad play, return to form, and make that combo work.
Oh, sniping onto Lockdown. Once again, Pulse Bomb lands. But Hyde is already there on duty, healing his brother again.
Glad to see that at least that is working out. I can't think my most recent quest is, you know, win 3 games as a support hero. That was just gonna stay
No, but if you play Hero League, it just finishes.
I think it was it? Oh, I guess maybe it was play 3 games, not win 3 games.
Yes. Oh, I think there is one with win 3 games. Play 10 games. I like that one.
I think I had that one.
You get the
already.
most gold.
Yeah.
But play those Overwatch heroes. That's the hardest quest. But if you play Hero League, it just completes automatically, so you don't have to play the support.
Fantastic. I'm learning so many secrets.
Well, you can always play the support.
No.
You can always play. You can always go first pick and pick support, and your team will be happy to play.
You were telling me about how this is happening to you, and I'm like, wow, can I get some of these games? Apparently not. Sharing my brief heroes anecdotes here, brief though they may be. So this is what, the 3rd Dragon Knight for BlossoM already?
Way too late of a flight on top, and Lockdown says, oh, did I miss something? He can't fly back anymore. There's a focus fire on GTC.
It was like the worst time for him to piece the scene at all. So now he is not there. He's going to actually go try to push the only lane that Tempest has been able to take a keep down at. But yeah, okay, there is the Hearth coming out of Lockdown. So he'll be rejoining the rest of his team that are pressured into their base.
I've never seen Tempest playing this kind of macro. Seems like a different play style today. Their macro is super late. Their focusing is off. There's the Mosh Pit that we've been looking for. Instant cancel by the Cocoon.
Yep. Absolutely perfect. There's actually a defensive Gust. Not going in, but instead just used to keep the pressure off. Dragon Knight finally taken out, but Good takes a lot of damage just to make that happen. He and Hyde dropping very, very low. There's no Pulse Bomb to finish Hyde off.
And that's very likely to go to the game. Sign can't really do the damage. Falstad lacking damage. Dami, even if he has some perfect, something amazing, there's the death rattle from ETC. That's metal. Yes. Marthael buys back, and they will actually defend this one as Uther also comes back.
This is where Dami just kills everybody.
Can,
like,
he actually get Nazang? He gets the kill. They're on to the chase.
Yeah, okay.
The lane line dropped.
I felt like he might have been able to go a little bit further, but hey, it's a kill. That's a little bit more than they have been expecting from their last few fights. I definitely thought the game was just going to end right there. It probably will not, but for Tempest, like what's going on here, G-Clef? Help me out.
Well, pretty strong. Uther comes back to life.
Okay.
And Greymane does a lot of damage.
He certainly does.
And that Deathmatch actually bought a lot of time. I thought it was going to be very close to an ending, but the Deathmatch buying the time, giving some space for Greymane to do the damage. That was, I guess, enough to defend the core. But now they're behind the keep, and they're late on the rotation oftentimes. This is a big problem. Of course, Tracer just spawned So this is the time where they have to really macro out and even maybe try to take the bottom neutral camp. I think they should be going for that if they really want to control, unless Lockdown is on top today, but he's not. So yes, they're making the perfect choice right now after spotting where BlossoM was.
I think this is a really big hallmark of some of the top teams, is that whenever you give them like the least little bit of breathing room, they do know how to just get the most out of the map, punish you in the macro phase. So, you know, I don't know if that's really going to equalize things quite. Tempest still have a lot of ground to make up.
So they have to make this push, at least into the wall. But Gondar in a perfect place to borrow in. There's a stun. Really follow up. The focusing is on to good. It's called Leyline. No one to protect him. There's a last ride. Picking up the kill. ETC was in. Everyone in stasis and they can't do anything. Silence comes in from BlossoM. That's almost the wombo combo. As Greymane, there's tons of damage. There's a mosh pit right now onto Medivh, so no protection comes in. But Gondar, another super play with the borrow charge. Knocking off 3 right there. That's going to be the team wipe. Death Mosh, happy to dance, as you have one more now in the Mosh, but that's going to be game, as they will just go straight to the core and finish up. BlossoM having a surprise win. Somewhat of a surprising win, actually.
Yep, 50 seconds is a long time. Plenty for BlossoM to push all the way through. This already equals at least their previous performance against Tempest, where they finished it off with a, I think they went down 1-3. So even if they lose every game after this, they're at least remaining consistent with their the level that they've shown that they're on. So I actually thought there was a moment there where maybe Dami was gonna, you know, be able to turn things around. No, completely taken out of commission. I'm really surprised already. All of the prep and the practice that I've put into looking at both of these teams may start to be a little bit upturned here, with the core going down and BlossoM taking game number 1 against Tempest.
That's GG. And BlossoM winning off of against Tempest game 1. Totally felt like Tempest was not playing their game. Something went weird. Maybe they're trying a new thing. Maybe they're having someone else as the shot caller. I think that's like the best guess that I can have on how bad they actually played on game 1.
Right, I mean, what was the secret there? Was it just maybe BlossoM playing well? Was it Lockdown's Falstad looking a little bit off with some of his gusts there? What happened? Where did it fall apart?
I don't think it was just the gusts. They had an okay draft going in, but in terms of the focusing and the mechanics, the teamwork coordination, and the macro play, I think BlossoM was, sadly to say, but BlossoM was on another level compared to Tempest in this game. Usually it's the other way.
Right.
BlossoM focusing more on the team fight than the macro. But in this game, they were the one controlling the macro the entire time. I was very surprised, and surprised by the result. May it be continuing, as Tempest is falling down every single time ever since that forfeit.